Thanks very much, everybody, for joining me once again. Saj Sadek here. I'm delighted to be joined by a friend of mine, a cricket writer, somebody who I've known for a number of years. We've seen the ups and downs of Pakistan cricket over the years. We've been sat in press boxes together, watching Pakistan perform brilliantly one day and not so great the next day. So we've seen the trials and tribulations of following Pakistan cricket for a number of years. I'm delighted to be joined by Aamer Malik. Aamer, thanks very much.
Well, thank you, Tej. I'm pretty well. Thank you for the intro. It's quite nice. Thank you.
Aamer, well, I've got no specific questions for you, and I think it just needs to be a discussion about Pakistan cricket. I don't know about you, but I'm really not enjoying watching Pakistan cricket at the moment.
I think that makes two of us, Tej. I think probably more than two of us, to be honest. And we, I mean, like we discussed a couple of months back, it's just there's been a continuous decline for the last couple of years, and I think I've pointed it out recently where I think it stems from and where it started from, and others have seen that as well. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Usman Samiuddin's brilliant article about 2 weeks ago on on the decline of Pakistan and of Pakistan cricket. And it highlights a lot of points one of the points that I actually made was the amount of change in personnel, the amount of change in administration, and how that affects the overall balance of the side as well. Because at the end of the day, all of that affects the people on the pitch. So yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, I think if I recall correctly, I mean, there's been 4 chairmen since 2022, 5 chief selectors, 23 coaching staff. I put this in an article I wrote a little while ago for grassroots cricket in Pakistan. I remember putting that down. And that's, if you're telling me that's not going to affect the players mentally and even physically on the pitch, because I can't imagine that really being helpful for anybody. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you 100% on that. And I think if you just gauge some of the cricket public on social media, they'll say the same thing. This is not the Pakistan cricket that a lot of us have grown up with. I mean, myself and yourself, we're probably from a generation where we had the likes of Wasim and Waqar, and Imran to watch. And I think we probably were a bit spoiled, but I think we can't. I think our expectations are a lot higher than they probably should be.
Well, my expectations these days are very low. I think
Yeah.
every time they come on to the pitch, I'm expecting them to lose, irrespective of who the opponent is. We've seen them lose 2-0 to Bangladesh. We've seen them lose to USA. And I get your point about sort of the administration changing, the chairman changing, the selectors, the coaches changing. Ultimately, though, I feel the players aren't good enough.
I think so too. So I mean, and I don't mean this is for me. It's never being personal against any player. But I think you can just see the mediocrity levels in standards of playing. We create superstars, but they don't. And I think a lot of the hype that some of these players generate just by their name, they don't live up to the expectation. And I think if you look at it in a wider perspective, I think other teams are just better. As simple as that. There's no rhyme or reason. We can't blame anybody but ourselves for our decline. And I like you said, the players I think that we have now aren't as good as the players we even had 10 years ago. So why are the level? Are we losing out at grassroots level? I mean, is the talent not coming up that we should be seeing now? I mean, 10 years ago, we were beating sides. Okay, we was in the UAE, but we were beating sides. We were winning Test series. What happened? Why the decline?
I think one of the biggest problems is something that you touched upon there. I feel that the players think they are actually better than what they are. And, I remember a time when in domestic cricket, we had 4 or 5 genuine out-and-out fast bowlers in every single domestic team. These days, we can't muster 1 or 2 bowlers who can hit 140 kph on a regular basis, or if they can, they soon get injured.
Yeah, And that's the other continuous worry as well, getting injured. And do you have the infrastructure or the personnel in place to actually help them with their recovery? Do you have the actual professional, and I'll say the professional staff who are you know basically who are knowledgeable on sports medicine? Does Pakistan have that in abundance? I don't think it does. I don't think it has it at national at national level, let alone domestic level. So if you've noticed at the moment, they've started this Champions Cup, and
which is a great preparation for the Test series against England, isn't
yeah,
it?
absolutely,
I mean,
exactly.
you couldn't make it up, could you?
No, it's the thing is um, you've got England Test series next month, and you've decided to have an ODI tournament. And I think someone else has said this, and I'll reiterate: it is a vanity project. It's nothing more than that. It's I don't what are you hoping to gain? If you're gonna if it's to discover new talent, then I want to know exactly how you're going to discover that talent through 3 different formats over a period of 11 months. And the thing that, and you touched upon it as well a few minutes ago, is, about our players getting injured. In the course of 11 months, you're going to tell me that players aren't going to get injured. But apparently, this is, I think, if I remember correctly, it's non-stop cricket for 11 months. And that's just domestic, and that's not inclusive of the other normal domestic schedule that Pakistan cricket has. I think, the PSL and the Qaidi Azam Trophy, and I think the Pakistan Cup they have as well, don't they? And this is separate from that. So when you're playing that much amount of cricket, one, how are you going to manage the players' workload? Two, is there anything in place to help these guys maintain their fitness, as well as if they get injured, and they will, don't get me wrong, they will, and I don't mean in a nasty way. Is there sufficient personnel, infrastructure in place to actually help them recover? That's what I don't think they've actually thought this through at all. I mean, you could say that just by looking at this, schedule. I mean, they've got England and Test series in a couple of weeks, but they've got a one-day tournament, a domestic one-day tournament in front of that.
I get the impression that the Pakistan Cricket Board, they try hard. Obviously, they've got the best interests at heart for Pakistan cricket, the players, but there's a lot of short-term planning and thinking. They don't look further afield. Like with England now, you could probably say they know which players are going to play which series in the next 12 months, which players are going to be rested, and they're already planning for the future in terms of young players coming through. Whereas Pakistan cricket, it's almost like, all right, okay, this lad's done well in this T20 tournament. Let's pick him for the one day or Test side.
I mean, with Pakistan, it's done on an ad hoc basis. With England, they're preparing for the Ashes, which are 18 months away, and that's the way each country defines its vision of where they want to be is totally different, and you can't compare them. I mean, I read the other day when England had not done too well and they lost the last Test match against Sri Lanka. People saying comparing them to Pakistan. I said, no, you can't compare them to Pakistan. It's a completely different kettle of fish. England may have lost that Test match, but it doesn't make them a bad team. They've got enough bench strength to come back, and they've got enough know-how and professionalism in their cricket structure to be able to beat sides and to whereas Pakistan haven't. We look for short-term solutions. We don't look at the wider or the broader picture as such. I think for us, it's just basically it's it's a day-by-day thing. And like you said, one guy performs in a T20, they'll put him in a test in a test squad. It just doesn't make sense. There's no rhyme or reason. And like you said, they do have the best of intentions, but I just and I along with any other fan, I think and it's quite obvious as well. It's just they go about the wrong way about doing it. It just doesn't make sense.
And the worrying thing is that the players just aren't coming through. I mean, the players that are being hyped up and as the future superstars and the next generation, they look pretty ordinary to me. There's nothing special about those players, and that's the worrying thing. I think ultimately it's going to be a lot of hard times, some low periods before that upward turn comes, if it ever does.
I think there will be a turnaround. I mean, it's with most cricket teams. It's a repetitive cycle as such. Everyone has their bad phase, and I think Pakistan are going through a bad phase, and I think they know that as well. And I think as long as you know that, you've got to improve. And again, going back to players, one of the things I find, and I think some players think they're bigger than the game, and I think when you reach that level of thinking, I think then it's time for you to hang up your boots because you're not playing for the team. You're not playing for your country. You're playing for yourself. And I think that's when you've reached that level of thinking. I think that's where you have to cut your ties and think, right, that's it. But they won't, because in, as you know, in Pakistan, cricketers are superstars. They're made to be superstars. It doesn't matter how good or bad you are. And I've seen it myself. I've seen players of average ability, but they're treated like Hollywood stars in Pakistan. Some of these guys can't walk in the roads in public without getting fussed over. And it's I don't blame them at all. I mean, these guys have made their living playing cricket, but the problem is that I think some of them don't realise what comes with it as well. And there's a lot of baggage that comes with being a cricketer in Pakistan. And unfortunately, a lot of that baggage is always thrown out into the public as well, with all the recent controversies that Pakistan cricket has had. I'm sure you get dressing room quarrels with other teams, but how many times do you actually hear about them? You don't. In Pakistan, as soon as something happens, WhatsApp message gets leaked to the press. It's where is the profession? Where is the I've played club cricket, Sage, and I'm pretty sure you have as well. And it's always been the motto: what goes on in the dressing room stays in the dressing room. And surely, if that's something you do at a club level, you'd expect it, without saying, at professional and international levels.
This is, I suppose, just touching on the final point now, Amir, is I think this is the worrying aspect. I think in the past, Pakistan cricket has always had its controversies, its characters, the infighting. But we've had those superstars who have lifted the team to results, to performances. They've carried the team. They've carried the hopes of a nation. I think going back to the point that we were making earlier, this lot at the moment, I just don't see those superstars. I just don't see those guys who can handle pressure. And I think that's the key. These guys, half the time they go on the pitch and they've already lost,
Yes,
especially big matches. And I think the struggle is that they are finding it really difficult to handle the expectations.
I think. I mean, even I think a lot of, and I think I noticed this during the World Cup. They're actually in awe of some of the teams that they play against, and I think I don't expect that from another one professional. I can understand you know about a player's reputation, but if you're going to be in awe of them, then I think you've lost the game before you, like you said, before you set foot on the pitch. And it, where do you actually see them in 5 years from now? If they, what you've got to remember is, they, if there is still constant change, do you actually see it changing or improving?
Well,
If the
the
change keeps
planning for
happening,
5 years, I mean, you asked the question about 5 years. The planning for 5 years needs to start now. The likes of India, Australia, England, New Zealand,
yeah,
South Africa, all these nations, even the likes of Afghanistan, look at them, and Bangladesh, they are, miles ahead of us now in terms of their long-term vision, their planning. And they are all looking ahead at making sure the youngsters are ready for international cricket. As we've discussed already, we're looking at tomorrow rather than next year or the year after.
absolutely. I mean, the thing is, there a lot of cricketers I know within Pakistan cricket are disillusioned because of the way they are. Maybe they're not selected. The way, and a lot of cricketers. I mean, I've read quite a few cricketers have gone to the US to play the game because they've just been so disillusioned with the game back home. I can understand if it's for a financial reason. Cricketers have a short shelf life. They've got to be earning money whichever whenever they can. And I also find that with Pakistan cricket, limiting their NOCs to an extent, especially for players who don't get to play international cricket all year round. I think that really needs to be assessed as well. If you've got to keep your cricketers financially happy as well as professionally happy, they've got to earn a living. There shouldn't be a restriction of trade because you feel like they're playing too much cricket, or it'll affect their. Problem is, if you're gonna restrict someone playing, a T20 league somewhere, then make sure he plays in, make sure he plays in the international game that's coming up or during that period. There's no point not letting someone play in that series, in that T20 league, then completely abandoning them during whatever international series is happening during that time. And I've seen that happen recently, and I think you've seen it as well. There was a Pakistani player, I won't mention his name, who was supposed to play in the 100. They refused his NOC, and the poor guy didn't even get to play in the Test series against Bangladesh, as far as I remember.
Yep. Thanks very much for the chat, Aamer. Always a pleasure. I think we're both in agreement that there are some. There's not a lot of light at the end of this tunnel at the moment, and just hope that Pakistan cricket can get through this tough period and come out of it stronger. But at the moment,
there's always light.
Very promising.
There's always light. So it depends how long the tunnel is, and unfortunately, Pakistan keep on making that tunnel longer. So that's what we've got to look at.
It feels like a very long tunnel at the moment.
It does. It does.
Once again, Aamer, thank you very much for your time. Always a pleasure speaking with you, and hopefully we'll catch up soon.
You too. Take care.
Thank you. Thanks.